Hello, hello, hello. Well, we are back with our Wellness Wednesday. It is the 17th of January, and today we are going to talk about water. It seems like a kind of a crazy subject to talk about whenever the weather is so cold. Right now, it's a balmy 17 degrees, and in Texas, that's pretty darn cold, isn't it?
Yeah, schools are
So
closed today.
Right. Yeah. So we got maybe an inch of snow. This time it wasn't a whole bunch of ice, but we did get some ice, and so all of Texas shuts down because of that. For lots of different reasons. Meanwhile, our friends up in Wisconsin got 18 inches of snow, and they're working just fine. My husband works from home, and he was talking about one of his colleagues was in Chicago, and she had to leave to go to a doctor's appointment. And he said, "Well, how cold is it?" And she said, "It's actually, I don't know, 15 below or something like that. And the wind is just awful. They got however many inches of snow last night." And he said, "And you're still going to the doctor?" She's like, "Yeah. What's the big deal?" He said, "Well, meanwhile, my wife is on telehealth with her doctor because the doctor's office shut down, and so because of our weather, so it sure is different in different climates." But Carrie and I were talking about, and I didn't introduce ourselves. So I'm Dr. Sherry and the owner of Redbird Natural Healing. And this is Dr. Carrie Martine Vegue, and she's my partner in crime and wonderful friend. And so we were talking about water before we got on here to record. And one of the interesting things is that we see more people dehydrated in the colder months than we do in the drier months or in the hotter months. And the reason why is because people drink hotter drinks in the winter time, right? To
Mhm.
get warmed up, they drink more coffee. I drink more
Hot
coffee in the
chocolate.
yeah, hot
Mhm.
chocolate, apple cider, just all kinds of different hot drinks. I drink more coffee in the winter. I rarely drink coffee in the summertime. But it reminded me of a story of when my daughter was younger. I was a Girl Scout leader, which something that Carrie learned to do about me whenever we were talking
Yes.
about this. And so we had a really large troop in our city, and I wanted to take the girls camping overnight. But in order to be able to do that, the leaders had to go to overnight camp ourselves so that we could know how to do it the Girl Scout way and, have all the rules followed and all that. And it just so happened that the weekend that we were going to be doing our training as adults was the temperature was under freezing, so we got our polar bear patch. But the two things that were very interesting about this was that before we went to bed, the instructors told us that we had to drink 40 ounces of water, and this was like 30 minutes before we're going to bed. And I was thinking to myself, I am not getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, because then I have to get out of the covers and all that kind of stuff. And but I did, and the reason that she said that was because she said you're going to be all snuggled in your bed, and you're going to sweat. And so you're going to sweat that out, and then you're going to be more likely to get more dehydrated. She also told us, like, make sure that we actually change out of our clothes and into pajamas, and then the next morning into dry clothes, because again, you sweat, your clothes get wet, and then you get colder, and then you have hypothermia issues and that kind of thing. The next morning, before we could eat our breakfast, we had to show them that we drank a whole bottle of water, so another like 16 ounces. And so hydration was a really important part of that, and most people don't really think about that, right? In the wintertime, it's very, very important. It's also important to remember that when you're sweating or when you are losing your fluids like that, you're also losing your salt.
Mhm.
So a lot of times sugar gets the blame for things, or salt gets the blame for things when it's really a sugar problem. People really don't consume enough salt. And as Carrie and I were talking, because we taught a class on cravings this week, and she likes coffee a lot. And she said that sometimes she craves it. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. But one of the things that sometimes you're missing when you're craving coffee is salt. So that's just a little plug for some of our classes, and that class is Tuesday night. And so you can talk to us more about that if you're interested in hearing about that. So, Carrie, does dehydration or water kind of thing bring up any memories for you and the things that we've experienced with different clients?
Yes. So there was a time several years ago, it's been quite a few years, that Sherry and I were teaching a 3-day class about how to use essential oils. And it was a lot of detox going on because we were teaching skills, we were teaching body work, and we always told all of our students, drink lots of water because we're doing a lot of body work, you're using a lot of oils, a lot of detox is going on. And when your body is trying to detox and you're not drinking enough water, the toxins come out, but usually in less pleasant ways, such as skin rashes, or just it's just uncomfortable. But if you drink enough water, you can pee them out, and it's a more pleasant experience. Well, one time we had one student who knew, and it is true that you're not supposed to drink a ton of water with your meals because it dilutes digestive juices and things of that nature. And while there is some truth to that, it's like she was taking it to I don't drink any water whatsoever during a meal. It was like an hour before the meal and
An
2 hours.
hour, I think it was an hour before the meal, during the meal, or an hour after.
Right. So
But
that's basically a 3-hour window if you take a
right,
half hour to an hour to eat. So that's 3 hours, 3 times a day she's not drinking water. I mean, that's a
mhm,
significant part of her day,
right,
especially when you're at a 3-day detox class.
yeah,
Um, she was, and we could not convince her to drink water, so she was quite uncomfortable
mhm,
for a little
yeah.
while there.
It was very interesting too. I mean, to give you some idea, I think that class we had 12 or 13 women,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we bought 2 cases, maybe 3 cases of water. So anytime that we had any of these, excuse me, anytime we had any of these classes, we had 2 or 3 cases of water plus a whole, we'd always have to buy more toilet paper because
Yeah,
more women are going to the bathroom. You
because they're
have to have
detoxing.
water for so many different things. And so while she was talking about diluting the enzymes to break down her food, one of the things that she didn't realize was that she was also making some other enzymes not happen, right? And the
Yeah.
stomach acid not happening, because if you've heard me before, and I think actually we talked about this on a Wellness Wednesday, is that you need 3 things to be able to poop. And that is, you've got to have fat, you have to have fiber, and you have to have water.
Mm-hmm.
And that water really helps to push everything out. Plus, it also helps with satiation and that kind of thing. So, Carrie's reading an interesting book right now, and you
Yes.
want to share about that, Carrie?
Yes, it's Your Body's Many Cries for Water by a doctor who I think he's from, I want to say India. I cannot pronounce his last name.
Mhm.
But this is a phenomenal book. He has tons of great books, phenomenal book. And we're doing a book club reading of it in our signature membership. So if you would like to learn more about water and discuss it, definitely comment on this video, give us a call at the office, contact us. We'd love to have you join us in the signature membership group. But with the satiation, it's so interesting to me as we were reading the first few chapters this week, how you have to be hydrated, like as Sharian said, in order to go to the bathroom, in order to move things through. Yes, but you also have to be hydrated in order for your gut to produce a hormone called motilin, which does many things, one of which is it signals your brain when you are full. So partly the issue with not with eating too much food, just more than your body needs and things of that nature, is because your body needs something, but it doesn't need food. It needs hydration. And so when you're drinking, when your body is hydrated, your gut actually produces this hormone, which triggers your brain, I'm full. And so, really, if what your body needs is more water, then you can eat as much food, and it can even be healthy food. Like you can eat make great food choices, but you can still be eating too much if what your body actually needs in order to feel full for your brain to get that message is water.
Mhm.
So, like with that student at the intensive who was not drinking to dilute because she didn't want to dilute digestive juices, that's true. But like 30 minutes before eating, drink a glass of water. An hour after eating, drink a glass of water. Add minerals to it. At the office, we like Element
Mhm.
for electrolytes. You can buy that on our website, Redbird Natural Healing Center. Um, but that's a great way to keep your body hydrated while still allowing your digestive system to digest.
And we like that element because it has no artificial sweetener, nor
Mhm.
does it have any sugar in it. And that's really important because, again, a lot of times salt gets the blame for what sugar is actually doing. And a lot of these electrolyte drinks or energy drinks that companies sell, and which I'm not in favor
Mhm.
of at all, just because I really don't care for them anyway. They either have caffeine in them or they'll have some kind of sweetener. Maybe sometimes they don't put sugar in them. They'll put, you know, what is it? Splenda, I was going to say,
Mhm.
or they'll put they won't use that brand name, right? Because that has a copyright on it, but they'll call it something else, and it's still an artificial sweetener that your body is. Instead of you giving your body what it needs, you're putting some garbage in your body. So we really like Element because they have different flavors.
Mhm.
They're really relatively
Yeah.
inexpensive, and they really only have magnesium, potassium, and salt in them. They're not generally going to make your blood pressure go up. That's not a guarantee statement, okay? But generally, they're not going to make your blood pressure go up because it's a different type of sodium. It's really what your
Mhm.
body needs, that kind of thing. Always check with your doctor. That's what we're supposed to say, and all that kind of stuff. But that's one of the things that we do. So we want to encourage you, even in the cold, no matter where you are, if you're up
Mhm.
north or down here in the south, to really make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. And what does that look like? Often we say to drink half your body weight in ounces of water, and there are some studies that say that's not really the best thing for you. I think it's really going to depend on the person. That's one of the reasons that we do urinalysis at our office to see what you need. It can be you can have a magnesium deficiency, you can have a potassium deficiency. And of all of those, I would say, well, first of all, there's 7 different kinds of magnesiums. People text me all the time and say, I think I need some magnesium. Is this one okay? Well, it's like, well, what are you going for?
Mhm.
But then as far as potassium can really mess up your heart arrhythmia. And so that's one of the things that I'm super cautious about not taking a potassium supplement, just because you really need to have different levels tested, and we can do that in your urine pretty quickly. But using an element powder in your drink can be very helpful. If you do like coffee and you do like hot chocolate,
Teas.
there's a
Yeah.
chocolate one. So the chocolate ones tastes pretty good. I've used that one in my coffee and made kind of like a latte, like a chocolate latte or mocha. And then also I've used the chocolate one in just hot water.
Mhm.
And I mean, it definitely tastes different than hot chocolate, but it still gives you some of that oomph. So anyway, check out our signature memberships, because this is where we really go more in depth of education. Like we just finished the constant craving class last night. And then also moving forward, we'll have some other classes that are available to those members, and then discounts and all kinds of good stuff. So if you've got questions about that, drop it below and let us know what we can do for you and how we can best help you. Remember that we've got clients all over the United States and several countries, so we can serve you remotely as well as in person, and that's what's really great. Especially when, even though we may be forced to close, we can still help you. All right. Well, I hope you got some nuggets about dehydration and you're going to drink your water. Okay. And then we will see you next time. Talk to you later.